I want to say that as we get into where we're going, that the human being is self-healing. Not limited, but completely of everything. If we just try to fix the body, it won't work. It will just be partial. Because the body is just part of who we are. When we go for body, mind, and spirit, and we understand how to harness that balance, there is nothing that the human body will not recover from. Let me take you on a little journey, because when I get to how hypertension is actually reversed and healed, the little story I'm going to tell you now will come into play. You and I started out as just an egg in our mother's womb that was fertilized with a sperm. That one egg, when the sperm fertilized the egg, fusion took place, and 23 chromosomes from mom and 23 from dad came together. And it was in this one single egg, and this egg knew exactly what had to be done. The gynecologist did not go in and manipulate what had to be done. No medicines were taken to make it happen. This one egg had built into its DNA, for medical purposes now, it knew how to become 2, and the 2 knew how to become 4, and the 4 become 8, and so on, transposing all the information from one thing to the next. And over a period of 9 months, there were millions of steps that were taken in such precision and in such order that at the end, we came out as a complete human being. And what started as one cell became trillions of cells, and what started as a single cell became many types of cells that cannot be mixed up anymore today. If you take a cell from your heart and try to transplant it into your liver, it can kill you. It will mess your whole body up. You can't mix these cells up in your body. They're all very different cells. They all have different functions, but it all came out of this one. This was a very miraculous process that took place that brought us here today. Today, as we sit here, there are millions of processes going on in our body right now. And it is doing exactly what it did at the beginning. There are millions of cells that are dying as we sit here. By the time we leave here, a few million cells would have died in our body, but a few million more would have come back. The body is constantly, continuously, until the day we die, always remaking itself, always repairing itself, always, and it's doing it according to the original genetic blueprint that it started with. It's important that we remember that it only does it according to the blueprint that it has embedded in its DNA. So, today, just like if you took maybe a black-eyed pea or a lentil pea or some peas, and you could have it on your counter, you could have it in your kitchen for months or years, but you could take that pea and you can put it in the ground, and if you water it, a similar process takes place. It's going to start and eventually it's going to create a plant. All locked up in that pea is the whole genetics to make it happen. It's locked up in every single cell in our body. Now today, medical science is taking advantage of that, and they're trying to clone all kinds of things now. They're trying to clone people, they're trying to clone animals, and now they're mixing genes from plants and mixing genes in animals to come up with all kinds of hybrid of plants and things like that. Because we understand a bit more how this whole DNA thing works. It's important for me to tell you that because you'll understand when it comes to the genetic factor of hypertension, I hear so many times over my 18 years of clinical experience, well, my mother had it and my father had it. The implication, I was bound to get it. That's not true. In fact, we are also told in the medical profession, when we show up with hypertension one day, we go to the doctor, he said, well, your mother and your father had it, so it was only a matter of time. That's incorrect. It doesn't matter if the last 100 generations have it, you do not have to get it. That applies to hypertension, diabetes, cancer, or any condition. It does mean that we are more predisposed to it. It doesn't mean we have to get it. But we have to understand how that works. And the very process that made and developed that body is the same process that keeps remaking it today. It is the same intelligence behind the scene that medicine still don't understand. They know what happens, but they don't know how the body and how the cell knows what to do. Where does this intelligence come from that tells it what to do, when to do, and how to do? They don't understand that part. They just understand what's taking place, but not how the cell knows how to do it. But we know how that's happening. That's spiritual influence right there. That's another story. But just know that that process is what's, when we go to sleep at night, it's what's keeping us breathing. When we get a cut on our hand, we don't, even if we did nothing to that cut, it's going to start a very intricate process. The blood is going to automatically start clotting because the brain is going to send a signal at that damage where enzymes are going to be released in the blood. It's going to start to thicken the blood. It's going to start clotting it. Fibrin interconnection will start forming. A whole healing process, the white blood cells will come to the scene and start to mop up all the little bacteria that might be right there. In a short while, a scab forms. One day the scab falls off, it might leave a little scar, but it has just mended back. You don't have to get involved in that. It will happen. If you break your bone, the doctor can't heal it. All you do is set it, and it will start knitting by itself. It's a process that never stops. So when we see how the genetic factor works, we'll understand how true it really is. So the human body truly and always will heal itself, and it will do it from anything. Let me say this again, I might keep going back to this because I know our minds are not accustomed to thinking of health in the context of wholeness. The body will heal.